Okay, I think of all the things that you're going to learn in this class. This one right here is probably the most applicable to your everyday life because as college students, you need to know how to do a weighted mean, if for no other reason than to know how to calculate your GPA. This is exactly how it's done. Not only your GPA, but like in the example that we're going to do down here, it's how to calculate your final grade. Because believe it or not, teachers are fallible human beings. We make mistakes. And if you know how to calculate your grade, then you can always check and make sure I haven't done something wrong. Um, because, yeah, mistakes happen. So here is the formula. This says X bar. It's a weighted mean. I'm assuming that they use X bar because we're usually going to be dealing with a sample, not a population, because um, it's just the norm for doing a weighted mean. So weighted mean, or maybe a weighted mean is always an X bar. Oh, my dogs are chewing on their toy. I'm sorry if you hear squeaky. But if I take the toy away from them, then they're bothering me. So, X bar is the symbol that we're going to use for a weighted mean. This says we're going to be adding something up. This says we're going to be adding something up, and then we're going to be dividing the two sums. So we have to, it says XW. In algebra, and I know you're thinking, I'm not in algebra. Well, we're expecting you to know that from algebra. When you have two letters written side by side without an operation symbol, then it's implied multiplication. So XW is really X times W. And in the order of operations, which you learned in algebra or one of your courses, fundamental courses before you got to algebra, you learned that there is an order to which we do operations. I don't know, maybe you learned it as PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, but anyway, the order in which you do things is parentheses, exponents, multiply and the divide in the order in which they appear, and then add and subtract in the order in which they appear. So since we have to multiply and then sum something, we multiply first. Okay, so we're going to multiply X times W. X is the data set, W is the weight. We're going to multiply X times W, then we're going to add them all up. Then we're going to divide them by the sum of the weights. Okay, so that's what that says. Now, in this table that they give us, the grading system assigns the following. If you make an A, it's worth 4 points. A B is worth 3 points. A C is worth 2 points, and a D is worth 1 point, and an F is worth 0 points. And I've been to two different universities, one as an undergrad, one as a graduate. They were in two different states. I went to Stephen F. Austin in Texas, and I went to the University of I went to Missouri State in Springfield, Missouri. So I've been in both those places. This was the scale. So it's pretty universal. This is the kids' report card for a semester. It looks about like mine. I was definitely a BCD student. Anyway, these grades are not you can't multiply 3 times C. I mean, in algebra you get 3C, but to do these weighted grades, you're going to have to take these and convert them to numbers. Now remember, we said these were our X values, these were our weights, and so what did we say? The 3 is worth 2 points. So I would convert each one of these letter grades into a number. And this is exactly what you do each semester for your GPA. This is exactly how they calculate your GPA. All right, so I've converted each one of these according to this conversion scale, and I've taken the C and I've written it as a 2 and so forth. So now I'm going to create a new column, and this column is going to be my X times my weight column. Okay, and I'm just going to go down here and multiply 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 4 is 8. I'm actually not going to do it because I've already got it done right here. So 681, 12, 4, 9. Then, as you remember, this formula right here says that we are supposed to find the sum. So after I've done the multiplying, I add all these up and I get 40. I add all my weights up, I get 16, and I do 40 divided by 16 because that's what it says, and x bar is equal to 2.5. Okay, so that's doing it by hand. And doing it by hand for some of you is the way that it sticks. You're like, I know in order for me to learn how to do this, I'm going to have to actually write it down, put my pen to the paper, and work it out. And if that's what it takes, then that's what you need to do. I am going to show you how to do it on StatCrunch. I'm actually going to show you 2 different ways to do it on StatCrunch. So I opened a StatCrunch page. I went ahead and put the 221423 in. That's the grade. And this is the credit hour. And the way I'm going to show you first is going to be, I'm basically using StatCrunch just to do my multiplication. Now, do you need to, StatCrunch to do the multiplication? No, you can say 2 times 3 and get 6 right there. I mean, you could do that, and that would basically just be doing, putting, instead of writing the table down, you'd be putting it on a spreadsheet. But you can also have StatCrunch do this for you. And to do this, you go to Data, and we're going to go to Compute because we're computing something, and we're going to compute an expression. We're going to use the formula. We're going to have to build it, okay? And so in order to build this, what we want to do is we want to take the numbers from the grade. We want to take those numbers. I double-clicked, okay? I double-clicked to make that pop up there. And then I hit the times button, and I'm going to multiply it times the weight. I double-clicked right there as well. On your computer, if you're using like a Mac or something, you may not have to double-click. But mine's a PC, and I do have to double-click. So I did grade times credit hour. And I'm going to press OK. And then I want it to label my column. And I just want it to be called X times W. And so I put a capital W, doesn't matter. But I just want it to do, or you could label it grade times weight. I mean, if that's what you wanted. But anyway, compute that. And it put in, the same things that we wrote down. It just calculated it for us. It did 2 times 3, 2 times 4, 1 times 1, and so forth. Okay? Now, what was the last thing we did? We need to sum this column and sum this column and divide them. So we're going to go back to the same thing that we did. It was Data, and then we're going to go down to Compute and over to Expression. And we're going to build our expression. And this time I'm going to come down here until I find sum, because we have to add up, double click it. I want to sum the X times Y column. Okay, so I'm telling it to add that up. And then I'm going to divide that, and there's the divide key. That little slash is the divide key. I'm going to divide that by, I need the sum again, of the weight column, which is the credit hours. Okay, so I'm going to find the sum of the X times the weight column, and then I'm going to divide that by the sum of the credit hours. Okay, I'm just going to press OK. I'm going to label it. The answer is going to be the weighted average. And I'm going to say compute, and the weighted average came out to be 2.5, which is exactly what I said right here, because 40 divided by 16 is 2.5. Now, the only thing is that, that I don't like about this, I guess you could come over here if you wanted to. We did stat, and we did summary stats, and you could find the sum over here. What do we have? X times W. And we could come over here. I think we could find the sum. And then it would show you the sum is 40. And then you could come over here and do it again. We did summary stats for the columns. And this time we want the sum of the credit hours, which is our weight. And we want the sum. And so there we could see that 40 divided by 16 is where they got the 2.5. 40 divided by 16. All right, I'm going to show you one more way and then I'm going to stop the video. The other way that you can do it is not going to show any of this work. I kind of like this way because it shows that you understand what's going on, and this could be a way that I could get you to show your work. So just make note of this. If this is something like a future test question or something, and I need you to show your work, you could, take a snapshot of that. And by the way, if y'all don't use your snipping tool, yeah, you definitely need to get accustomed or become familiar with that snipping tool. You could come up here and do that snipping tool right there, and then copy and paste that probably in the software, the Blackboard, where it says maybe upload an answer or something like that. You could definitely copy and paste it into an email. So just know that snipping tool exists. If you don't have it, then just go down here to your search bar. Just go down here to your search bar and type in snipping tool. Now, if you're working with a Mac, I can't help you. I mean, I know that there's a way to do it too. I just don't work on Mac, so I don't know. So type in snipping tool, and then I pinned it to my taskbar so that it's always right there because I use this on a daily basis. I mean, like 25 times a day I use that. Okay, so there is one more way to do it, and you don't really need all of these, so I'm going to delete them. All you need are the two columns that we started with. You go to stat, you go to summary statistics, and the only reason I don't like this way is because it's not intuitive. I mean, you just go down to this one. You go to summary stats and you go to grouped and bin data, and then select bins. You're going to select the X value or whatever is, whatever you counted that is your X value, what's your data set. And then you have to do your counts. That's going to be your weight. Your counts is your weight. And so you just have to be sure and get those two in the right place. And then all you do is come down here and calculate a mean. It is a weighted average, a weighted mean. So we're just going to do, these are the grades. These are the weights for the grades. These are the grades. These are the weight for the grades. And we just want to do a mean. And you compute it. And then this is what it came out with, 2.5. All right, so that's several different ways. You can do it by hand, which is what we did here, or you can use the expression calculator, which was the first thing that I showed you where you do the new columns, or you can just do that last one, which is stat, summary, grouped, and binned, okay? All right, I'm going to stop this, and then we're going to go go ahead, and what you should do before the next video is you should, oh shoot, I didn't mean to start that. I hit the wrong button. This is the button that I was trying to hit. You should go ahead and try to do this problem right here. I will start the next video with the answer to this one up. So just know that when you write percents, if you're going to type them in StatCrunch, you don't put the decimal value in. Sorry. You just type in 15, 20, and so off. If you're doing it by hand, you'll want to put the 0.15. But again, I will show you the answer at the beginning of the next video.